There's a lot of fair criticism to go around with the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it's overpriced. I think the games are overpriced. I think they haven't nailed the execution on it like they did with the original Nintendo Switch. Now, one thing I will say that I think they've done an incredible job on is I think the Joy-Con 2s are a vast improvement over the originals. The analog sticks feel better. They feel more robust. They feel more accurate to me. The fact the face buttons and the SL, SR buttons are larger too. This overall I think is just a better design. But what happens if you have a Switch or a Switch OLED and you've got a stack of these laying around that you can't use with your Switch 2 because this uses the rail to go ahead and connect and these utilize the magnets. Two very different ways to connect. You know, and we even have controllers like from NYXI with the Hyperion controllers here, which, you know, they offer back buttons, RGB lighting, a whole lot more on this that just gives it a better overall fit and feel from the original. And then they also have their Wizard 2, which, as you can see, it looks like a GameCube controller, right? Well, what you can do, this is cool. Check this out. You can actually separate it into a left and right Joy-Con and attach it to a Switch or a Switch OLED to use these like a GameCube controller. But these, which are awesome, but don't work on the Nintendo Switch 2 because, again, rails versus the magnetic connector. Well, NYXI, the manufacturer of those two controllers I just showed you, has just sent us this here. This is their adapter that allows you to connect original Nintendo Switch and Switch OLED Joy-Cons to a Nintendo Switch 2. We're going to take these out of the box. I'm curious to see, will this charge? Does it work off of Bluetooth? How exactly does this work? Let's get started. If you want to see exactly how these came out of the box, make sure you check out our YouTube short that we posted on these. It does come with just the basic plain box here, adapter for connecting Switch controllers to Switch 2 console. One of the things is it is available both in orange and blue or just black. These are clearly just the black ones here. Going through and looking at it, we'll give you a closer look. Again, my hand is not the best functional, but it is what it is. So this is the left, that's the right. You can tell blue versus orangish red. This has the minus sign on it. That has the plus. To attach your standard Joy-Con, all that you do, slide that into there. And we'll grab the NYXI Hyperion here. That's basically how that goes there. And there is a little window right here, as you can see, that it'll flash up and down, and you'll go ahead and when it connects to the system, it'll go to, you know, the right player number. You do have to manually pair your Switch Joy-Cons to your Switch 2, so that is something important to note. One final thing, and this is the big reason I wanted to test it out, here is the Wizard 2. Clicks right on there, and there is this one, which we will slide on. This one did feel a little bit tighter than what that one did, so important to note there. So first things first, we need to go ahead and pair our Joy-Cons to the Switch 2 itself, and we have to do it a little bit differently since, again, it doesn't pair through the rail. So we're going to go to change grip order. And now on the original Switch Joy-Cons, you do have your pairing button right here, so we're going to go ahead, hold that down. That one's paired. Same thing on the right one. That one's paired. So we're connected. Now we'll go ahead and just slide them into the rails. Now the interesting thing is you did see the way that it lit up there, and it does show, if you take a look, it does show a charging indicator. So I'm half wondering if these are charging or not, and I'm just missing the way that we're actually getting everything through to the Joy-Cons themselves. Now, one thing of note on here that you do lose is you do lose the C chat button. But other than that, I mean, you're going to have a very similar experience. I didn't realize how much I was going to miss the larger Joy-Cons. I don't like these as much, but that's just the Joy-Cons themselves. I know that there are going to be other people with smaller hands, kids and whatnot, that will appreciate these. I do like the fact that it does have the wrist straps already attached. In some ways, I kind of wish that was separate, though. I don't like having these just hanging out here. That's just me. I'd like to have the option of attaching them versus having them pre-attached. Let's go, no. A little bit too quick on the gas there. I mean, yeah, I would say this feels just like using a normal set of Joy-Cons on a Switch 2, to be honest with you. And that's, I mean, that's really just a good thing because that's kind of what you want, right? We are now already up to second place. Oh, I tried to get the rail, couldn't get it. We'll get it on the next lap. Oh no, what's coming up behind me? The best I can say is this feels like I'm playing on a Switch 1 in handheld mode, quite honestly. And I think in the end, that's kind of what they were going for with this overall design. It does feel wide, I will say that. Oh, you booger. So what I was trying to do earlier, and I'm going to see if I can't do it now. Oh, I did, but I didn't. There's a rail up there you can rail grind on. Kind of a bummer that that didn't work out. Okay, the original Joy-Cons working just fine. Let's try the Hyperion Joy-Cons now from NYXI themselves. So we're going to do the same thing on here. Go to change grip order. And just like the Nintendo Joy-Cons, the NYXI ones have a pairing button in the middle. I've actually already paired these. So hopefully we can go ahead and just hit the home button. There we go. One thing I do really like about these two is if you look at the back, look at that contoured shape on there. These are really comfortable to use. Now, these do make the Switch slightly wider, so that is something to be aware of. And we are going to dive into Carl from our good friend Nintendo. It's great to see people like Drew and John Riggs and other people in the gaming realm. Oh, screwed that up. Get into making their own games. So far, so good on this. We'll dive into some Super Mario World real quick. I mean, everything on here feels precisely as it should. Hooray, it's Yoshi. The one thing I'll say too on the Hyperion controllers, these things, the rumble is fantastic on them. And it's one of those that it really, no, goes and just makes it even better. Yeah, it's working great with these. You know, with the Wizard 2, and finally the Wizard 2 controllers, there's that one and that one. We are connected. Since we have a GameCube style controller, it makes sense that we try a GameCube game, doesn't it? Let's try Luigi's Mansion. I will say these do make this system feel massive. The nice thing about these, or this controller as well, is the fact that these actually use Hall effect sticks. Nice, got some money. So, I mean, you won't have the, you know, the issues that you would with a more traditional, you know, Joy-Con. These should last you overall a longer period of time. I mean, everything here is feeling great. Oh, that rumble, I forgot how good that is. The cool thing too is NYXI does offer these in a couple of different colors. You've got the indigo like you see here. There's also a white and a spice orange. Oh, hey, it's Toad. Hi, Toad. If I hit, yep, I hit minus, I can go here. Let's go to game selection. Let's try F-Zero GX. So what do I think of this? I do wish that the Joy-Cons connected to the system through the adapters. That would just make pairing easier. Once you get paired, you're ready to rock and roll. I mean, there's nothing really above and beyond that to worry about. If you have a set of standard Joy-Cons, it's going to work. You've just got to go ahead and pair them via Bluetooth to start. The nice thing is if you have different Joy-Cons like we have, you know, the originals here, we have the Hyperions actually back on the charge right now, and then I've got the Wizard 2 as well. You know, you have different options out there, and you can really tailor what you're looking for, both, you know, not only now as a pro-style controller, but in handheld too. For 20 bucks, I mean, that's the other thing to remember is the fact that these are $20, and I will have a link down below that you can go ahead and order a set if you want, and I'll also have a promo code where you can save 10% off of your order. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Like, I'm just using very little input on the sticks. You know, I don't have to bang them side by side, and when I do, I actually do worse. But I mean, that's one of the things with the Hall effect sensors, with the precision that's been built into this. Overall, this is just a really, really nice package. One final thing to show you is just how easy this is to remove. Just pull that lever there, that one pops off, and these are now off the system. So if you want to put the originals back on, boom, and boom, there you go. So, and then just for comparison's sake, you know, roughly speaking, if you figure that's where the controller would sit, you can see how much wider just one side is, at least with these. So one final thing, I did take one of our adapters and I removed the metal plate, and I was surprised to see there is actually some wiring down below in there if you take a look. I mean, it's one of those that if it's not charging, why would there be a need for that? So maybe it does charge it. So I was beating myself up pretty good trying to determine if there's a way to determine if, like the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, if these adapters did actually allow the Switch 1 Joy-Cons to charge. And then I remembered I had this guy here from Fastnail, and it is a 4-in-1 charging dock that will allow us to go ahead, connect 4 different Joy-Cons, and these change colors when you connect one that is charging. So for that one there, so that you see that turned red. The blue one must be pretty fully charged. Let's check this one, fingers crossed. Now, I do want to double check here. We are going to slide the controller out and just see if this indicates that it's providing power. It doesn't, so then if I connect that one, awesome. So these do provide charge through to the Joy-Cons. That is awesome to see, and I'm just going to slide this one in here. Boom, there you go. They charge. So in the end, these are pretty simple and basic, but then again, so am I, which is why I kind of like them. It's essentially just a port adapter so that you can physically connect these onto one of those to your Switch 2. And it gives you the option to utilize controllers like this, so that way if you have extra features, you can take advantage of them. It also is good for people with smaller hands or want that smaller controller grip versus the Joy-Con 2s, which is admittedly a larger overall charger. Easy to use. The one thing to remember, and that's a bit of a pain depending on the controller, is how to pair these to your system. On these, for example, you've got the pairing button in the middle, hold that down. Then you go ahead and hit L or R depending on which one that you have, and then you can pair it to the system. Ran into that same issue with the OEM Nintendo ones, with the Hyperions. They all kind of have to go through that sort of method. I will have a link down below if you want to pick these up. I will also have a link that will have, essentially I have a NYXI storefront for lack of a better term, and a promo code that I'll have on screen right here that you can save 10% off of your order too. These are really pretty idiot proof. Any idiot should be able to use them. I mean, if I can do it, you should be able to do it. Now, if you do want to check out some of the other videos that we've done talking about NYXI adapters or controllers or accessories for the Switch and the Switch 2, I'll have those linked for you right here on screen. I'm sure you'll find something there you're going to like.